Okay, so some of you may have heard on social media or in the news, and this was flying around last year, shortly after the rally to protect the funding that's being cut to Social Services Canada, or sorry, Social Services Ontario in Canada, and yeah, I've got full confirmation and the whole story here. Anyway, hold tight. So in the best story I found recently was the MSN News report, and it has all the details. I can share a link later. And I do have confirmation from my own worker. I am on social assistance, and I'm being affected by these changes right now. And So I had to go talk to my worker because things are changing, and I had to go sign some new paperwork, and these are now my new my new standing orders, I suppose. No, sorry, my work order. Uh, this is like a notice of assessment. Please be advised, mandatory form update or update of Form 1 has been scheduled for you on April 3rd. So that's this April. Uh, and I'm going to have to provide all of my personal information again. And why is that? She also gave me this little sticky note here. Really encouraging. I love it. She's totally on board with my social media platform and getting myself out there because that's the career choice I wanted to take. I've been, trying to get myself back into school. I do have to pay off my OSAP, yes, and I've been making payments to that, and need to keep working on that so I can. And the tuition programs that were coming out have been cut, so my chances of going to school for any media programs whatsoever are basically nil until I can do it myself. Um, so here I go. I'm doing it myself. Uh, and on that note, like we've got uh, this. I've been looking up like New York stuff. There's Ontario County, New York Social Services, and I haven't looked directly into the connection of where these companies are based. But we do have, FedCap Inc. Is now going to be collecting all the information for Hamilton and Niagara. Um, WCG, which is owned by AMP Group, they're controlling Peel's info. Fleming College is controlling Muskoka and Kawarthas. And what I mean by controlling is they will be collecting all the Ontario Canadian, not U.S. citizens. Like this is a private company, a for-profit corporation, and a college, all based in the USA. That Doug Ford has signed an agreement with to outsource our social work programs, and they're going to be collecting information and dealing with anybody on assistance that needs to seek employment. And how they're doing that is by reinstituting the plans that Ontario Conservatives have cut in the past, using the resources that are already existing here for free through referral. And so immediately after I went to my appointment, I went to talk to the people at the job gym. I've got my appointment for tomorrow morning, and I will be beginning the process of going through how they help you to find a job. And, hopefully that might alleviate some of the stress for some of you out there that don't even know what's going on. But at the same time, creating more stress because I I'm not a lawyer, but trying to understand the legal matters behind all of this change is really kind of troublesome. So anybody out there that has any legal advice for me at this point, I don't care who you are, but leave a comment. Um, and yeah, so on that note, um, I have been trying to plug away to promote a lot of other people and stuff. For my friend, she's written a book about her memoirs. It's like kind of a life story, dealy, through like a lot of the trauma and struggle that she's had through kind of hardships, and it's I'm sure it's going to be touching and relatable to a lot of women out there, and a lot of other people that have had it really tough. Um, but it's uplifting because she tries to keep that positive spirit frame of mind. And aside from that, I've been trying to gather what I can about these native rights issues that are going on in Canada. Um, and I've just about got that. I have a partner that's wanting to do a collaboration on that from the U.S. point of view. So kind of like an exchange of back and forth on like what's going on in our own countries with those matters. Um, and I will try to get as much firsthand info I can, being based in Ontario, in the region where these protests of Mohawk are taking place. I may be able to get into touch with someone that actually knows what's going on directly. Um, so stay tuned for that too. Uh, this being my first real video, I hope I'm not just kind of trailing off into other various areas, but back to the stuff that I can provide directly is with what's going on with social assistance, because I'm in the system and I'm my whole career objective was to start putting stuff like this out here. So I think that in this media format, my own story is probably going to be a lot more appealing and a lot more. Um, I don't want to say trustworthy, because who trusts anything they see on the media these days? And but like it could be like a firsthand perspective of what's going on, and I will try my best through all of like the 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 personal struggles of dealing with the stereotyping, and also like the self pressure of being in the bottom tier of society, financially, um, and for everyone there's kind of like a different reason for it, I'm sure. And I just wanted to put this out there because these are things that we need to address as to how we are treating and helping these people. Do we just give them money and they go away? Is that what you do? No, no, that's not how you help someone, right? Like, sure, it can help in a pinch, like say, oh fuck, I need a couple bucks, but pardon my language. Anybody that's not cool with the F word, because it's a very versatile word and everyone uses it. It's very hard to divest from my vocabulary when I'm trying to behave myself. And um, but I digress. What was I saying? Oh, Ford Nation. Doug Ford is selling my I don't know if there was an exchange of money or well, yeah, I guess there is an exchange of money. These are for-profit companies and colleges. Like these are, like I don't know what the college deal is there. I guess they're getting students, outsourcing to students to mind my personal info. In New York, um, I don't quite get it yet, but I'm gonna try to understand. Um, And yeah, I will be going through the job training programs that they have. Also, trying to clear up misdemeanor from like back when I was just getting out of high school, and see if that can help get improve my chances of getting employment so that I can get into school and get a career rather than a job, because that's what I want. Doug Ford has been reducing the minimum wage in Ontario, and it's not even appealing to get a part-time or full-time job at these wages, and afford to live and go to school. And I'm sure a lot of people out there really kind of understand what that's about. Which brings me to the teacher strikes. Recently, they happened after the blockade started going up, and I'm totally behind that. Even Catholic school boards have struck, like all teachers in Ontario. That's what that says. Um, uh, and like I'm totally supporting teachers because they're the ones that really try to help us understand things. And we need a lot more understanding out here. Uh, you know, which like anyway, if you want more understanding on the welfare situation and what the news is saying, what the what the breakdown is of it, and what I have confirmation of it. I've put all that up on Facebook. First, I started tweeting stuff as soon as I got home after taking pictures on my route. Like on my route to my appointment. You know, yeah, I kind of made a post for the organization that has taken it upon themselves. This is like a nonprofit, community-based organization called Poof. Really funny title, I guess. Yeah, well, it is. Um, like Poof, there goes your money, and that's why they're protecting it. Protecting ODSP OW funding, right? That's Ontario Disability Service Program, and Ontario Works, which is what they started calling the welfare program in Ontario. It's Ontario Works, and then they never really followed through with that Works program, and they've been trying to like tool it around or whatever, but it's all just a bunch of nonsense, and like they keep